Hello, hello, hello. This is Samuel Archer, your host for Musilog Magazine podcast. And today we have a special guest in the building. We want to welcome Mr. Keith Robertson, who is here with us today, musician, producer extraordinaire, songwriter, and so much more with a new single out called Say It, and we want to welcome him here today. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing?
I am doing awesome. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're glad to have you. And shout out to the Urban Influencer family for connecting us.
Yes.
And so we're just gonna talk and find out about you. And oh, I heard somebody in the background. Is
Yeah,
someone
that's the
saying hello?
dog barking. Yes, yes, the dog is saying
The
hello.
dog is saying hello. That's right. That's right. That's right.
uh-huh.
Shout out to I don't know, he, she,
She
uh
is Riley. Yeah, it's a she.
Riley. Shout
Yeah.
out shout out to Riley. Okay. Yes, so where do you hail from originally?
I hail from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mm.
Yeah, that's where I was born and raised. Musical roots go deep there. From
Mm.
my uncles, the Isley brothers. They're
Ugh.
from Cincinnati, and
Oh
so
man.
you got James Brown. You got a lot of people came from Cincinnati and just Ohio in general.
You know, yeah, Lavert.
Yeah, yeah, Levert, the Ohio
OG,
Players,
Ohio
OJ,
players.
Roger
So
and Zapp. Yeah, so many.
but you said that you're related to the Isley brothers?
Yes, my mother's brother is actually
Mm.
Chris Jasper, who played with the Isleys, and my mother's sister Elaine married
Mm.
one of the brothers, Rudolph Isley.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Wow, you're this is soul R&B royalty here. Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your start in music? Like how did things start off for you?
Well, it really started, just really taking an interest. I would say in my early teens, and being in school. Schools, at that time were very heavy with music education. And
Mm.
so, just really that was ingrained in me. Just a lot of the music classes, which really evolved into taking private lessons at the Cincinnati Conservatory
Mm.
of Music. And so that's kind of how it sparked. That's where the roots were. When I was 13 years old, one of my music teachers had a band called the Professionals. And, he really, saw firsthand that I was, playing pretty well at that time as a drummer.
Mhm.
And so he invited me to start, playing with them. They were like in their 40s at the time. I was 13 years old, and,
Mm.
really started playing professionally at the age of 13.
Wow, wow. Funny enough, around that age, I started playing at hotels and stuff
Yeah.
in Tobago, in the island of Tobago. A couple of
Mhm.
hotels were around. Certain times I had to sneak out because
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I think 13 for a lot of us was a pinnacle year.
Hmm.
So when did you start getting into writing, and now, and is drumming your primary instrument? I mean the
Yeah.
drums, sorry.
Yes, yes, drums and
Hmm.
percussion. Yeah, that's my primary instrument. And for songwriting, I mean, I'm a excellent sequencer, which a lot of,
Okay.
guys, it
Okay.
sounds like they're proficient at keyboard, players, but drums and
Hmm.
percussion is my primary instrument.
Okay. Okay. And so what was like your approach to songwriting? How did that start for you?
Well, songwriting, it started, I would say maybe when I was in high school, maybe
Hmm.
around, maybe my junior year in high school, really started, having an interest in songwriting, and started just doing a lot on my own and kind of excel. And a lot of the bands I started playing in, a lot of the guys had the same interest. And so we, started, formulated some different songwriting teams, and it progressed into playing with the group that got discovered by Midnight Star, and we were
Oh.
playing at Central State University, and we got discovered at that time. And so Reggie and Vincent Calloway, they had left Midnight Star at the time, and they were looking for songwriters and producers to hire for the production company. And so that's kind of how it initially started. I was trained under the tutelage of Reggie Calloway, who went on to produce for Teddy Pendergrass, Natalie Cole, Levert,
Mm.
bunch of people. And so that's how I really, from the beginning, I was really, I consider myself blessed because I really came
Mhm.
in learning from the masters, how to arrange, how to produce, and really how to put songs together.
I feel a book coming on here. You have a book in the works or something?
You know what, Sam? You are the second person who have asked me this, and I would ask you. I mean, honestly, I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I mean, I have a lot of content. I know how to put things together, but I'm
Mhm.
really looking for somebody to work with me. To kind of put the
Mm.
pieces together and to either be co-author. Yeah, because I have a lot of history and things I would like to share.
Yeah, we might have to do a part one and part two because I'm just touching the surface here. And I know my listeners would definitely, they'll be really, really amazed as to what they're going to hear probably in the first interview that we're going to talk about. But the little bit of research I've been doing, I think you have a story that needs to be told, especially from the Ohio part to the Pendergrass part to the Isley Brothers part to the productions you've worked on and the records you've worked on.
Mhm.
I've listened to some of the records. They're excellent, amazing records you have. And is that you singing on there?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you have and I'm saying that too because there's a lot of stories within the fabric of soul and R&B, intertwined with hip hop and like where the music went.
Mhm.
So there's just like a lot of backstories that's missing,
Yes, I
that
agree with
hasn't
that.
been told yet.
Mhm.
um and some folks are trying to kind of put a few things together. I interviewed Matthew Knowles, who's the dad of Beyonce.
Mhm,
He
mhm,
has wrote a few books. I think he did one on the Destiny Child story.
mhm.
There's another gentleman by the name of Don Charnas. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he wrote on Jay Dilla, and he wrote a book called The Great Payback,
Mhm.
which he chronicles like the whole uh, hip hop from the Sugar Hill Gang come all the way down.
Wow. Mhm.
And then you might know Steve Stout.
Yes.
He has a book called The Tanning of America. And in some weird way, um, Don Charnas' book is more history of that time period, and then The Tanning of America is they talk about the branding aspect.
Mhm.
And when you read both books, it sort of parallels
Yeah.
that. Then you have Kashif,
Yeah.
who he wrote Everything You Better Know About the Music Business,
Mhm.
but within the book he gives you like some backstories
Yeah, yeah,
that when
yeah.
you worked with different artists and stuff. So
Mhm.
it's just interesting to then you have I think you have a New Edition that did their documentary, and you see
Yeah.
how they intertwine with other folks. You have people like Curtis Blow, and so
Mhm.
there's just so much uh parts to the story.
Mhm.
And I think you have a piece of the pie to bring there. You have a piece of something
Yeah.
to add
Yeah.
to the stories, because it
Mhm.
is just so many uh parts. And then we're not even talking about the young people that's sampling.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
you've probably
Mhm.
been sampled as well. I mean, based on
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
reading, you have
Mhm.
so we can even talk about that as well, as
Yeah.
to who are some what are some of the records that got sampled that you've worked on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your now. Which record is this? I mean, is it an album? Have you done singles? Where could we start with?
Well, to start, I as an artist, back
Mm-hmm.
in late '06, early '07, I
Mm.
wrote and produced my first project called Love, Life, and Relationships. And
Okay.
that song was just really inspired, just really what the title of the song was about. Just a lot of people, they want to hear about love, they want to hear about life and relationships, and I just believe my
Mm-hmm.
perspective was just more true to what I really believe. How people are really living, what they really go through.
Mm-hmm.
I have a song on the record called "Stay." It's just dealing with the issue of divorce and
Ooh.
a song called "Me Quarters on My Heart" is from a perspective of, men. We always sometimes we get a bad rap, about what we do and what we don't do. But this song
Mm-hmm.
is just really, you know, speaking to the woman like, I'm really trying. I'm really trying to do things to please you. And you really
Mm-hmm.
need to hear my heart, in the
Oh,
matter.
okay.
And so, yeah,
Okay.
that
Mm-hmm.
project, it actually did really well too. It really did well over in the UK. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how things started off as an artist, from an artist
Okay, so
standpoint.
you're talking around 2006.
Hmm.
Now since then, so okay, so you did your personal record. Who are some of the artists that you probably collaborated with on their projects around that time when you did your record?
Well, around that time, I guess I can go back just a little bit.
No problem. No problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I was working with the Calloway brothers. I would say up until around 2000 or so. We worked on a project out in Los Angeles called "Let's Get Smooth," which that produced a single, went to the top 40, and we collaborated with Larry Graham. I mean, the bass player, the classic Larry Graham. Who else? Chucky Booker. um, Sly
Wow.
Stone, Sister Rose Stone, The
Oh
Boys,
Lord.
the rap
Oh,
group called The Boys, Gerald Levert, God rest his
uh,
soul. He was a part of the
okay, okay.
project. George Johnson from Brothers Johnson.
Mm,
And so,
mm.
and Gerald Albright, he was a part of the project too. And so, those are a lot of people that collaborated with for that project. And moving forward, just when you develop relationships, with a lot of different musicians, you work with some
Mhm.
guys according to their schedules and everything. But I just been fortunate to work with some excellent musicians, that we've kind of worked with different projects on here and there throughout the years.
Obviously, he's an excellent musician. So, so,
Yeah.
so would we have to go back a little bit more to talk about the Joy record from Teddy Pendergrass?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
please let my listeners know about what you did with the Joy record from Teddy Pendergrass.
The Joy Project was the first recording that I ever worked on. And
Mm,
that was with Reggie Calloway when I was working with him on his
hmm.
production team. And I did some drum programming on Joy. And so, just being mentored, at that time, it was old school. You kind of just followed the lead of your mentor. Okay,
Hmm.
we have
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
project production going on. We'll let you have an open door. And so that project, that was the first project that I ever worked on. I did drum programming on that, and it went gold. And we know Teddy. He's just
We know
yeah,
the record.
yeah,
We know the
yeah,
record.
yeah.
And I think he hung around a little bit after that record. He did what, maybe one or two other records before he passed on, right?
Yeah, he did.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was amazing, man. He was amazing.
Hmm.
And why I remember him, well, he didn't have the accident yet. He came to Trinidad
Mm.
and he did a major concert down there, tore the place down. And I think he, Turn Off the Lights was the big record. So I
Hmm.
mean, I'm a kid looking at this on TV, and I think they did the concert in a place called Queens Hall
Uh-huh.
Park, Queens Hall Auditorium, or what have you.
Hmm.
And I might be wrong. Don't quote me. Uh, Someone might fact check me on it. But it was, eventually it was televised. So as a kid growing up as a musician, I saw this I think Teddy came down, Aretha came down, the Jackson Five came down at one point. So there were a couple of bands that would come down to Trinidad, and I think Run DMC came down at one point as well.
Hmm.
For that, we definitely followed Teddy
Hmm.
Pendergrass,
Hmm.
not just in the States, but in the Caribbean. He was definitely even we covered a lot of his songs,
Hmm.
top
Yeah,
40
yeah.
and all of that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so just to hear that you even worked on that record, um when that record came out, I might have been in, I think I might have been in college. I might have been in New York Tech,
Hmm.
going to school when that record came out. So that's part of my it's part of my, what you call, my soundtrack, my life's soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
That record is there. So let's fast forward because it's about you today. We um so you did your first record. Um the record we're talking about now, is that the second record or is that the third record? What's happening between there?
What with my
With
music, you're
your
asking?
records, yeah, your
Well,
records.
actually, I that was the first major release as an
Hmm.
artist, my love life and relationships, and then after
Hmm.
that, I released some singles,
Hmm.
after that. But actually, when I released that record, I just got married back in '05, and
Okay.
I had a work related injury, a back injury,
Oh.
and I never really had a chance to really promote that record,
Oh.
because it was just the timing of everything. But I was still fortunate, that the song really did well, independently, just
Hmm. Hmm.
like I said, overseas and all that. And so that project really was a launching pad. It's still doing pretty well, even today. A lot of people are still
Hmm.
really streaming, a lot of the songs from the project. So yeah, I'm really really pleased with the outcome.
Okay. Okay. So your single out that you have now
Hmm.
is a record called "Say It,"
Yes.
and is this just a single or it's
Yes, it's
from
a
an
single.
album? Oh, it's a single.
Well, it's
Okay.
a single, but it's one of the singles from what I plan on doing. Because sometimes artists, we have plans, and things might go another way. And so
Sometimes, yes.
yeah, but my plan is to put out a full project, which Say It will be a part of the project.
Hmm.
I would say maybe after the first of the year. And so I have like a collection of maybe about 14, 15 songs that say it's going to
Hmm.
be one of those songs, but it's currently a single.
Okay. Okay. So what's the story behind that record?
Say It was inspired just by life experiences, a
Mm.
lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of fellow musicians that were, you know, not only looking at people passing, because that's just a part of life, but
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
also inspired, me to think about just life itself. Are we telling people that we love them now? Are we appreciating people,
Mm.
while they're still with us? Because too often, when we go to funerals, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have said this or said that.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
Say It is just what the song is saying. Say what you need to say. Do what you need to do. Don't let
Mm.
an hour or a day go by dealing with unforgiveness, dealing with, all those things that, hinder us. And granted, there's some things in life that can put us in a position where, what, I need some patience to get over this or that. But, love should rule and trump a lot of things,
Mhm.
that we
Mhm.
would say, what, I just can't say it. I can't do it. So it's just
Mm.
just really just to encourage people to do what needs to be done and say what needs to be said.
Amen. 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 So while I was researching, I played a record, "Don't Fight, Just Dance." Is that the right title?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. I was dancing. So when did this record come out? When did you release this record?
That record was released in 2021.
Okay, so it was like a COVID record.
Yes, actually, Sam, I wrote a bunch of that's when I really started writing a lot of songs. Even Say It was
Okay,
written during that time. Yes, I wrote
okay,
that during that time. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So just to chime in, I did a COVID record as well, a collaborative record. So I guess we were all trying to find ourselves during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So that is a testament to your to being a creative.
Yeah.
All right. So all the creatives, we were able to slow life down because the life forced us to slow down.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah.
we had a chance to go and work on some uh, on some material,
Hmm.
which is pretty good. So 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 you have a record coming out. I guess you don't have a possible date that it would be ready yet. You're just working on things.
Yeah, like I said, I'm being independent, you don't have
Mhm.
to rush. You don't
Yeah,
have to,
that too.
there's no hard
Yeah.
timeline, but I do like to
Hmm.
put, some type of, time frames on what I do. And
Hmm.
so I'm
Hmm.
hoping maybe January, February, because it's a process. You got to mix, you got to master. There's still some final touches I have to put on some things, and so
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
would say maybe February. That's when I'm hoping for the full project to be done and released.
Okay, all right. I can, and that's a good time of the year because everyone spent their money at Christmas, so
Yeah.
we're all broke in January,
Uh-huh.
and then by February things are picking up. So yeah, that's pretty good. What do you want music lovers to get from your brand of music?
What I want music lovers to get from my brand of music is authenticity.
Mm,
Just feel good, music to make people think, music to make
mm,
people be inspired to change, just
mm,
music to that will enrich people's souls. That's
mm,
really my whole goal. If it's a feel good song, if it's a song that is about whatever the subject matter is, I just want
mhm,
my music to touch people in a positive way.
mm, Amen, amen, amen. So we're not going to detour too far, but part of my research, I read a little bit on the spiritual side.
Hmm.
Apparently, there's a gospel aspect to what you're doing, or
Yes.
is it inspirational? What's
Mhm.
the connection there?
Definitely inspirational. I'm also a minister.
Oh,
I've
really?
yes, yes, I've
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, just even that, I really believe that there's freedom,
Mm,
in the things we do to glorify God. And so,
mm,
I take my inspiration from just that.
mhm,
I want to do things that glorify the Lord, and that are rooted and grounded in what I believe that really touch people in a real way.
mm.
And so
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely inspirational. That's
Mhm,
just the
mhm.
point I was saying. Things that are positive, I guess that can also be stated as inspirational as well.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I didn't know the pastor part. That was that one was like, oh,
Yeah.
but that's good though. That's good.
Hmm.
Um, I have to champion that because I grew up in a very strict religious background,
Hmm.
and secular music was in a lot of cases a no-no
Hmm.
growing up, and it a lot of it didn't make sense to me because when we went to weddings we played the secular stuff.
Hmm.
You go to a wedding, you're not going to play Jesus Keep Me Near the Cross type of records. You're going to
Yeah.
pretty much, so meaning that the music would be appropriate for whatever the
Hmm.
occasion is.
Hmm.
So saying that you're a minister is in, it's a different look. Well, obviously I've matured. I'm different now. But
Hmm. Yeah.
but some people can't see that it can, that okay, someone can be spiritually and even be a minister and still sing something that may be either positive or progressive or on the
Mm-hmm.
secular side.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to champion that because I think it's a good thing just to humanize ourselves a little bit more, in terms of those of us that can't see where there's a bridge can be drawn.
Yeah.
So I have to definitely champion that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I really appreciate that because
Mhm.
I think that a lot of, when you talk about inspirational or you talk about, gospel and all those things, most people that I know, it's about being free. I think that
Mhm.
as far as being a creative, I'm the most
Mhm.
free because I can talk about any subject matter.
Mm.
I'm not
Mm.
hindered, to talk about it. It's just about,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
connects with people. And I just think that when you're authentic, people will know where your heart is. Because, we hear
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
music, a lot of artists express themselves in ways that sometimes people don't appreciate. But I think
Mhm.
that, when
Mhm.
you're writing from a perspective that's just free and clear, you can just speak things that touch people and connect with them. And
Mhm. Mhm.
I think that's really the most important thing.
And I know my listening audience may not have heard your music in its entirety, but I can attest some of the samples I've heard. They sound pretty current, but
Hmm.
message-wise, it's potent, it's
Hmm.
positive, and the performance, the performance is good, very good, very professional. So this is really 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 good. Well, um, I wouldn't say I'm out of questions, but I don't want to. I don't
Hmm.
want to take us out to the realm too much. So there are three questions, and apparently it's becoming a staple of my interviews now. I ask artists three questions. Some feel violated, some don't. So you feel like you'd like me to ask you those questions? You have
Sure.
anything that you? Oh wow, he's
Not at all.
confident. Oh, by the way, do you know a artist by the name of Mariama White? Are you familiar with her?
No, I can't say that I do.
Okay, so you guys are from the same area. She's
Okay.
from Ohio as well, and I
Hmm.
interviewed her recently. So I thought you guys might have,
Okay.
Ohio's a state, right? So,
Yeah.
but my first question would be, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Wow, blue.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Um, well, now that we know you're a minister,
Hmm.
what do you like to prepare when you're in the kitchen?
Huh. When I'm in the kitchen, what do I like to prepare? Well, I do a lot of smoking. A lot of cooking smoking, not
Cooking.
smoking smoking. Not smoking smoking.
that's that's a good one.
On the pellet grill smoking.
Okay.
and so and so I would say just prepping just a lot of my proteins. Just I mean I like to
Hmm.
cook. So I would say just
Okay.
just prepping meals to go out on the grill.
Oh, you're the grill. You're master grill. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll work with that. We'll work with that. Okay. So my third and final question is, name me two or three artists that's in your playlist presently
Mhm.
that you're enjoying. And if you're one of them, you can say
Let me see. Definitely Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
He's one. Um, Jason Nelson, who he's a Christian artist. I mean, this brother's incredible. He's a bass player
Mm.
and he's a vocalist. I mean, he's just
Oh,
outstanding.
he sounds like a Fred Hammond there.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
yes, it's Stevie, Jason. I listen to a lot of smooth jazz too. Say like Brian Culberson. I mean, I listen
Hmm.
to Eric Darius. So I mean, there's, I guess that's like an eclectic three. But yeah, Stevie Wonder, Jason Nelson. I would say um, Brian Culberson.
Okay. So on the drumming side of things, being that you're a drummer, who is your drummer? The drummer that you just like to check out as a drummer?
Hmm. Wow. Omar Hakim. He's one
Ah,
that I used to check out, back in the day.
okay.
Wow, there's a new drummer. I'm forgetting this brother's name. He's a young brother.
Mm.
Um, I mean, there's like a few drummers, but it's like, I guess when you play and you play it on a professional level, there's like different, things that guys
Hmm.
might do. They might say, "Wow, that's just incredible." But Omar's one. Billy Cobham is another one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, even John Robinson, who played on a lot of Michael Jackson stuff. Just pocket drummers. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I would say Omar Hakim was one of the guys I really really liked checking
You
out.
know, I met Omar um, at the last NAM I went to. I went to the
Hmm.
last NAM event in 2020, just before COVID, and I knew that Omar would hear.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see someone, you kind of like, I saw him and I'm like, he looks
is,
familiar, but
is that him? Yeah.
obviously he doesn't have the hair anymore.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then so we all have tags, and I'm like, it's Omar Hakim. Like, my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
tall brother. So I introduced myself. We spoke for a little while, and then I have another bass player, Fred. He saw the
Mhm.
picture and knew right away it was. I was
Yeah.
like, you didn't have to think about it. It's like, no, that's Omar Hakim. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Yeah.
So the fact that you mentioned him, it's like, wow, it's a really, really, really small world.
Hmm.
I need to work on my jump shot so I can grow a little height or something. I'm just a short guy, just a short guy. You're looking up in the air like, yeah, how you doing?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, I know you have, like I said, I believe you have a book somewhere in there. But is there anything for our first part of this interview? Is there anything you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you?
Um, wow, well, I mean, like you said, Sam, that there's just so many backstories, there's so many different,
Hmm.
stories and things that I just have to share. But I mean, I think that we talked, quite a bit. I mean, one small trivia that I don't know if you researched it, but my father's brother is the big old Oscar Robertson.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
my dad's
I
brother.
oh, so you're just blessed all around.
And Sam, I mean, there's even sides of that we could talk about, but
Uh,
I mean, just from a young kid, I mean, I can say that there was a lot of excitement because
mm,
I even met Teddy Pendergrass. I want to connect the story. I never thought I would work with him, from a
hmm.
songwriting, but I used to see him perform all the time with the Isley Brothers because we used to go to a lot of Isley Brothers concerts, and they would open up for Teddy Pendergrass. And so,
Mm.
we would see Teddy, in the hotels and see him going up on the elevator and all that kind of stuff. So it was just amazing, just to, be on one of his records, seeing him as a kid.
Wow, wow. I think my listeners are going to enjoy, I would say, this first cupcake of an interview. We definitely have to do this again. Um, okay, so you said around February.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe around the end of January.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this so my listeners can tune in. Okay, he said January, guys. Um, that we can probably do a part two to this,
Okay.
and maybe you can probably even send me some details to
Yeah,
sort of
definitely.
give me a perimeter, because
Yeah.
we can go all the way out here, so
Yeah. Yeah.
send me a little perimeter of like, hey, let's take this route right here,
Okay.
and really discuss that. But this was definitely a privilege. It was informative. I'll even say I interviewed Beth earlier,
Hmm.
and she's an R&B artist that's based out of Detroit.
Hmm.
And her mentor is Michael J. Powell, that
Oh,
produced Anita
wow.
Baker.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so you have to
Mhm.
check out her interview.
Okay.
So I
Definitely.
interviewed both of you today.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing. Her backstory is crazy as well.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of people I'm meeting of late, and they all like the color blue. I don't know what's going on with this blue thing. I got to do a little research and see what's up with this blue. And everybody loves blue of late. So
Yeah.
I need to look into that and see what's happening. But Mr. Robertson,
Yes.
thank you so much. This is amazing, and keep us posted on what you're doing.
Yes, I will.
All right, man. You take care.
Okay. Thanks so much.